Everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to do eyeshadow if you really just don't know how to do it. Like how to blend, how to apply eyeshadow better, and how to make it look good. So, oh, and how to mix colors, because sometimes people find that confusing on how to mix colors. So for the palette that I'm going to use today is called the Morphe 35O palette. It's just on Morphe.com. They have super good eyeshadows, like that's a ton of different colors, and it's like, I think it's like 20 bucks for this, and that's a lot of colors. So yeah, I highly recommend checking them out. So you guys stay tuned, I guess, and I'm going to show you how to blend out eyeshadow. Concealer. There. Okay, so for the first step, we do have a couple options, and this is going to be your base. So you can use a eyeshadow primer, which mine is the MAC Paint Pot. You can use a concealer. I mean, I have a pot concealer right here. This one's by Marc Jacobs Remarkable Concealer. You can use just a regular concealer. I mean, you can really use anything. Today, I don't think I've used this pot concealer before to conceal, so I'm going to use this one. This is the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Concealer in the shade Young, and it doesn't matter which shade you use either, so I'm just going to hit it with a beauty blender. You can use a brush, you can use anything you want, and I'm just going to put down a base. The base is just so that your eyeshadow sticks better, has something to stick to, and it makes it an even, you could call it like an even canvas on your eyes, so that the eyeshadows can pop and the color will stand out more. Alright, now I'm just going to, we have another option here. You can go ahead and set this with a powder. You can use a translucent powder. The powder that you use on your face, you can use a light cream shade in a powder palette. You don't have to set it. You can pick whichever you want. I'll just, let's see, just for the sake of the video, I'll set with a powder. I'm going to use this one right here. This, can you see that? Yeah. This yellowy tone color right here. And just going to put it all over where I put the concealer down, just to set it. And setting it is just so that the base that we have put down doesn't move around and slide around when we're putting shadows on top of it. Next, which really, this has brought my eyeshadow game up so much, and I recommend it to everyone that wants to use eyeshadow. It's the color switch. So anytime, I talked about it before, anytime you use a brush and you have color on it, you just go ahead, rub it in here for a couple seconds, and then you can change colors, and it won't transfer all the colors all over the place, because that's really the key, is to start light and go to darker colors. And if you're using the same brush, which is totally fine, you want to take that color off, or else it's just going to transfer and not look very nice. So yeah, that's a main tip for me. I always start off with something that's called a transition color, which is just a little bit darker than your skin tone and is really going to help us blend all the shadows together. So the first transition color is going to be just something that really matches your skin tone, kind of. It's going to be matte, so I think I'm going to go with this one right here. So this is a good transition color for me. You can even use a bronzer for this step, like really just anything. And then I'm just going to place it above my crease, but also kind of in my crease. So I'm gonna, it's fine if it goes on your lid and in your crease, but you want to make sure it's at least showing above your crease a little bit, so that you can have this color as like a gradient from your natural skin color to the other shadows. And another huge tip is when you can pack on as much eyeshadow as you want on a brush, but always tap it off, like, so that you're not having all that excess powder fall on your face and create too much color. I just picked up the wrong color. See, I just put the wrong color on there, and I use the color switch and back into my transition shade. Next, I'm going to go in with a shade that is darker than the transition shade. So I'm going to use something like, let's see, like this one right here. And I'm gonna pack that in my crease, which is between your eyelid and where we put the transition shade. It's always better to hold the brush at the end because you have more control of where the brush, like if you're going like this, you're holding it up tight, you have control where you place the shadow, but your movements are gonna be so stiff and not as flowy and fluffy as how we want the eyeshadow to look. So tap it off as always, and then you're going, I put it in the crease like that, and then hold towards the end and just go back and forth, back and forth. Okay, and then let me see if you can see that. So as you can see, it's like up here is my, I don't want to get that shadow in there. Up here is my natural, like just skin color, and then there's the transition, and then there's that color that I just placed on in my crease. All right. Now I'm going to take more of a precise brush, and this is going to be for the darkest color that we're gonna place on our eye. This one is the Sephora Pro Airbrush Crease Brush. This one's still fluffy. All the brushes that I used are fluffy brushes, so they're not like this, like how this one's a pack. This one's called a shader brush or a packer brush. I don't use those for my mainly my eyeshadow. I don't use those. The only time I'll use that is if I'm doing it on the lid. So next I'm going to grab the darkest color I'm going to be using. So this one right here, this dark burgundy color. And I'm just going to place a little bit of this on there because you can always build up the color, but you can't take away color. So, and then I'm going to just place it on the outer crease. So just the outer side right here, and then down towards my lashes, creating like a V shape like that. Just like that. And then I'm going to start, once I pack the color there, I can blend it through. And now that that color is packed on, I'm going to go back in with the brush that I just previously used and blend it out more just in circular motions. And then another big tip that I find really helps me is having a mirror lower than me. So I have a mirror down here like below the camera, and I have it down so I'm looking down when I'm doing my eyeshadow, and it helps blend better because I can see my whole lid without completely closing my eyes. So that's another thing that's super huge, and I feel like really helps me that I can see my whole eyelid and with my eyes still open, so I have both eyes to see what I'm doing. Next, if you want to put on a shimmer shade, you can always use matte or glittery eyeshadow on your lid. There's a couple options. One, you can go ahead and place another base where you're going to put that, and it's called like a cut crease, and that's always an option. That's harder than if you just want to pack some shadow on there, but it'll make the shadow stand out more. Or you can just use it with a plain brush, or even spritz it with a little bit of water or setting spray or MAC Fix Plus. I don't know why I just lost that name, but any of those work really well. What the? Hold on. where was I? Oh yeah, the shimmer colors. So now you usually pick a color that's lighter than the colors that you just placed in your crease and the rest of the lid. So I'm gonna take, I don't know. I'm gonna take this gold color right here. I feel like that one looks pretty. And I'm gonna do one eye without the setting spray or water and the other eye with it. So this one's just gonna be straight on my lid. And then when you do pack that on, take the blending brush that you've been using to blend all the colors together and just go on the outsides of where you put that shimmer color, and it's really gonna seamlessly make it look seamless. It's just gonna make it look better. And then this one, I'm going to take the exact same shadow, tap off the excess, and just taking I have a setting spray right here. This is just it's a little bit dirty, the Cover FX mattifying setting spray. I'm just going to spray the shadow on my brush and place it on my lid. And then I'll blend out the edges. So as you can see, this side looks more glittery and a little bit chunkier, and this side just looks more natural. So you can always, if you do want to place it just normally, take a little bit of setting spray or water and then just pack on a little bit more, and it will give you the same effect. So the key to eyeshadow is really just, I keep seeing my fan reflection in this and it makes me think that there's smoke back there again. But anyways, it makes it, blending is just so important. Like, blending makes your eyeshadow look better. It'll make you look like it took so much time and you did so much work, when really it's just, you're just blending things out and it looks better. So that's my biggest tip, is blend, 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 blend. And take any kind of blending brush, like this one's a good example because it's so fluffy. I hold it at the end and just like little tiny circles back and forth, and that's really what's gonna bring up your eyeshadow game so much. And then if there is eyeshadow on the bottom, you can just go ahead and wipe it off or use a makeup remover wipe. And yeah, that's my tips for eyeshadow. I'm also gonna film like simple ways to fill in your eyebrows, eyeliner, you know, all that stuff once my eyelash extensions are gone. False eyelashes, foundation, you know, everything that's really gonna just help you guys out on how to simply do simple makeup, I guess you could say. So I hope this really helped you and you guys can maybe try it one day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!